Is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Young Brother of Soul podcast show. And guess what? It is me, your guy, the Young Brother of Soul. First and foremost, what I want to say is make sure you tell all your family and friends to watch the Young Brother of Soul podcast show. And not only that, make sure y'all catch up on all episodes, and there will be furthermore episodes coming on the Young Brother of Soul podcast show. Now, as y'all can see, I have on a Kango hat. Now, to be honest with y'all, for me to be a young man, for me to be a young brother of soul, I love wearing Kango hats. The reason why I love wearing Kango hats is because I have an older cousin by the name of Wayne who always wore Kango hats. Now, he is the reason why I wear Kango hats. Ever since that, I was like, oh, I'm going to wear a Kango hat just like my cousin Wayne. So I definitely want to give a shout out to my cousin Wayne for introducing me to Kango hats. Yeah. Now, before I go on with this episode, I know baseball season did start it. Yes. Well, actually, we're about 13, 14, maybe 15 games in since the season started. Yeah, I know I'm way too late. But I also want to give a shout out to my hometown team, baseball team, the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I know that the season just started, but it is definitely nothing wrong with giving your hometown team, who I only support. I don't support no other teams because I'm all Philadelphia. Okay. Yeah. But like I said, I definitely want to give a shout out to my hometown team, baseball team, as I should say, the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, on today's episode of the Young Brother of Soul podcast show, what I'm going to be talking about baseball teams that relocated. Now, in all sports, we all know that teams relocate to different cities. Some may be better, some are very controversial, which fans to this day still cannot believe and still are heartbroken that their team had relocated to another city. Now, some of these teams that relocated to different cities is because of financial situations, poor attendance, competitions with another team in the same city, desire to buy or to have a new stadium. Now, sometimes when you have an old stadium, yeah, it needs some upgrading. Yeah, renovations. But if you can't get that new stadium that you desire to ask for, some owners may be looking to relocate to another city. Now, another reason why teams relocate to another city is because of bigger markets, meaning bigger cities. When you relocate your team to a bigger city, that means that you're going to get more fans than what you have at the old city. But, like I said earlier, it may be for the good, but it may be for the bad. Now, believe it or not, some of these teams that relocated, well, as I should say, there's only two teams on here that relocated more than two, maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe going on 4. Believe it or not, some of these teams did win World Series in their old cities. Some didn't, some did. But some did go on to their new cities and win World Series. Now, believe it or not, like I said, some fans are always and forever going to be heartbroken whenever they see their sports teams relocate to a new city. Now, Do you want to see your team relocate to a new city? No, that's a very heartbreaking situation right there. That, oh my goodness. But sometimes when your team relocates, you get rewarded a new team. Now sometimes that new team may be better than the old team, because maybe the new teams would win the championship and sometimes the old teams didn't. Yeah. It's like that sometimes. It is like that sometimes. So, I'm about to get started on this episode with the list of teams that relocated. And believe it or not, starting on this list, that a team that relocated is the Boston Braves to the city of Milwaukee, as they will become the Milwaukee Braves. Now, believe it or not, the Boston Braves actually debuted in the league in 1871. Yeah, baseball is that old. Yes, we all know baseball goes way back. It starts in the 1800s. That is why it is the richest sport of all four major sports. Yes, it is. But the Milwaukee Braves, as I should say, the Boston Braves debuted in 1871. They would play in Boston until 1952 before relocating to Milwaukee. Now, believe it or not, the Boston Braves actually won a World Series in 1914 as they defeated the Philadelphia Athletics. Well, we're going to talk about them a little later in the World Series, 4-0. Now, believe it or not, the reason that the Boston Braves relocated is because they had very poor attendance. And not only that, they were competing with another team that was in Boston. And we already know what that team is. That is the Boston Red Sox, which we already know that the Red Sox were a way better team than the Braves. And not only that, they were, in that time, a dynasty. They won 5 World Series during that time. And not only that, of course, you're going to go with the team that won the most World Series. I mean, I would definitely go with the team that won the most World Series. And believe it or not, I mean, 1 World Series compared to 5, you're not going to compete against that. And not only that, like I said, the Red Sox are a way better team. And not only that, they had, their fans were definitely way more than Boston Braves. So, yeah, that's definitely a reason why they relocated, because of poor attendance, and you're competing with the Boston Red Sox. I mean, come on, man. There's no way you're going to compete against the Boston Red Sox in the same city. Come on now. Another baseball team that definitely would relocate is the St. Louis Browns to the city of Baltimore, becoming the Baltimore Orioles. Now, this team, to be honest with you, actually, they were the Milwaukee Brewers in 1902, relocating from Milwaukee. Like I said, the Milwaukee Brewers, they were a way different team than what we know as of today. Now, believe it or not, the St. Louis Browns, they definitely relocated to Baltimore, which is way better. They actually debuted in 1903. They would play in St. Louis from until 1953. They actually won the AL pennant in 1944. Well, they lost the World Series, of course, but yeah, but the reason why they relocated is because of poor attendance. And not only that, they were competing with another baseball team in the city of St. Louis, which was the St. Louis Cardinals, who were a definitely way better baseball team than the St. Louis Browns. I mean, I believe in that 1944, I believe the Cardinals actually defeated the Browns in that 1944 World Series. Well, yeah, like I said, if I was from St. Louis, I definitely would be a St. Louis Cardinals fan. I definitely wouldn't be no St. Louis Browns team. I mean, the Cardinals were definitely a way better team, and they had quite a few World Series competing against no World Series for the St. Louis Browns. Yeah. Well, since moving to Baltimore and becoming the Baltimore Orioles, which is definitely a different team from the other Baltimore Orioles, we're just going to leave it at that. Okay? The Baltimore Orioles actually won 7 AL pennants, and they were going to win 3 World Series, 1966, 1970, and 1983, which they will remain in Baltimore to this day. Yeah. Another team that relocated, which is quite shocking and which is not quite shocking. Now, this team, ladies and gentlemen, definitely was another dynasty in the World Series era. And this team is, ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Athletics to the city of Kansas City, becoming the Kansas City Athletics. Now, the Philadelphia Athletics were definitely, like I said, another dynasty in baseball according to World Series wins. Now, the Athletics actually debuted in the league in 1901, but they will remain there until 1954 in the city of Philadelphia. Now, believe it or not, the Philadelphia Athletics actually won 9 AL pennants, but they would win 5 World Series for the city of Philadelphia: 1910, 1911, 1913, 1929, 1930. Now, believe it or not, they were definitely a little better team, as I should say, because they won more World Series way before the Phillies won their first. But believe it or not, the reason why they left Philadelphia is because of poor attendance, and they were competing against the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, to be honest with you, after the Athletics won the World Series in 1930, their 5th World Series in Philadelphia, things have started to change real bad for the Philadelphia Athletics. And not only that things would change, fans definitely stopped attending to the Philadelphia Athletic games. Now, believe it or not, they were competing against the Philadelphia Phillies, which is still a team that is still the baseball team of Philadelphia. And of course, they won 2 World Series, 1980 and 2008. Well, to be honest with you, you would think that the other team would have less attendance. Well, actually, the Phillies have been out longer than the Philadelphia Athletics. It's just that the Athletics won more World Series. And ever since 1954, that was their last year in Philadelphia. And we're going to talk about the Athletics a little bit later. But yeah, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Philadelphia Athletics, like I said, they were competing against the Phillies. Well, yeah, the Athletics may have more World Series, but the Phillies are definitely more of a popular team than the Athletics, to be honest with you. Yeah. Another team that we relocate, which is one of the most craziest relocations, is the New York Giants to the city of San Francisco, becoming the San Francisco Giants. Now, when I said the New York Giants, no, I'm not talking about the football team. It's crazy. They actually had a football and a baseball team by the name of the New York Giants. Well, you know what? That's something else. Well, something else is crazy too, because you also had a football and a baseball team by the name of the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, we already know that the St. Louis baseball Cardinals was there way before the St. Louis Cardinals football team. That we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, the New York baseball Giants to the city of San Francisco. Yeah. They actually debuted in 1883. Well, they had a different name. I'm not going to go into the different names, of course. Yes, they had different names, but they will remain in New York until 1957. Now, believe it or not, the Giants actually won 17 NL pennants. Okay, well, those World Series that they talking about, they wasn't as known as the World Series as if today, okay? I'm going to just leave it at that. But they would actually win 5 World Series in New York. 1905, 1921, 1922, 1933, and 1954. Wow, they actually relocated 3 years after winning their 5th World Series. Wow, that is crazy. Crazy. Now, the reason why that the New York Giants relocated is because of declining attendance, and they were denied for a new stadium. Now, believe it or not, you already know the city of New York is definitely the biggest city in America. And not only that, they didn't really have that much room to build all these new stadiums in the city of New York. But before I go on with after I go on with the next team, which was also a crazy relocation, I think I'm going to tell y'all why that these teams relocated. Well, another reason why they relocated too. And believe it or not, since the Giants moved to San Francisco, they actually won 3 more World Series. 2010, 2012, and 2014. Now, believe it or not, that was actually their little dynasty going on. They were actually, they won 3 World Series within, 6 years, something like that. But yeah, they actually won 3 World Series since relocating to San Francisco. I don't think that the Giants are definitely going to be leaving San Francisco. So yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that. Another team that relocated to another city. The Brooklyn Dodgers to the city of Los Angeles, as they would become the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, believe it or not, the Dodgers actually debuted in the league in 1884. Like I said, they were a different name. I'm not going to go into other greater detail about that. They had different names back then, which were crazy. So, I'm going to just leave it at that. But anyway, they will remain in New York until 1957. Now, believe it or not, the Dodgers, it's either between them and the New York Yankees. I mean, the Dodgers really have a bad World Series record, man. Oh boy. They would actually win 12 NL pennants while in Brooklyn. But that is until they only have 1 World Series. And that is in 1955, where they finally defeated the New York, I was about to say Giants, New York Yankees. Which, I'm going to just leave it at that, because the Yankees had their number for the longest. Now, believe it or not, they relocated because of declining attendance and denied a new stadium. Now, to be honest with you, like I said, with the same thing with the Giants, New York is the biggest city in America, so they definitely did, or maybe not, have enough room to build a new stadium. But the thing is, with the Giants and the Dodgers, which are still a rivalry to this day, I believe that they relocated is because of the New York Yankees. The Yankees took over. Not only that the Yankees took over, the Yankees, they have the most World Series wins of 27, so yeah. But if you think about it, the Yankees, like I said, they took over. They took over ever since winning their first World Series in 1923. I mean, what else can you take from the Yankees, even though I'm not a fan, but yeah. Everybody started supporting the Yankees. I mean, During that time, New York had 3 baseball teams: the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Yankees. Well, since they relocated, yeah. And then, of course, New York would gain another baseball team, the New York Mets. But since moving to LA, the Dodgers actually won 7 World Series. Excuse me, 8 World Series. 1959, 1963, 1965, 1981, 1988, 2020, 2024, 2025. Yeah, they will win 8 World Series since relocating to the city of LA. Now, I seriously doubted that the Dodgers would definitely move again, but like I said, another reason why the Giants and the Dodgers relocated, because poor attendance and declining of a new stadium. And like I said, the Yankees took over. And not only that the Dodgers and the Giants would relocate to another city, they would actually relocate to the same state but different cities: San Francisco, Los Angeles. So yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. Yeah. Another team that definitely would relocate is the Washington Senators to Minnesota, becoming the Minnesota Twins. Now, yes, we had 2 Washington Senators, but we're going to get to those Washington Senators later. That is a different Washington Senators, as I should say. Yeah. They actually debuted in 1901. They would stay in Washington up until 1960. They actually won 3 AL pennants, but they did win the 1924 World Series as they defeated the New York Giants. Now, believe it or not, the reason why the Washington Senators relocated is because of poor attendance, and owner at that time, Calvin Griffiths, said he wanted to have less black fans attending games. Well, to me, that sounds very racial, and it sounds like a very personal problem, but you can't stop people from attending a sporting event. Come on, dude. What's wrong with you? Yeah, that's not a smart thing to do. But to be honest with you, since relocating to the city of Minnesota and becoming the Minnesota Twins, they actually won 2 World Series, 1987 and 1991. And since 1961, the Minnesota Twins have been in Minnesota. And to be honest with you, I believe that they have no plans on relocating to another city. Yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that. But yeah, poor attendance, and he didn't want to have black fans attending. Yeah, that's very personal, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. Another team that relocate is the Milwaukee Braves to the city of Atlanta, becoming the Atlanta Braves. Now, this is definitely a team that relocated, another team that, like I said, that the same team that relocated quite a few times. Now, the Milwaukee Braves played in Milwaukee from 1953 to 1965. Now, believe it or not, the Milwaukee Braves actually won a World Series 1957 as they defeated the New York Yankees. They will also go back to the World Series in 1958, which they lost to the Yankees. So, yeah. Yankees, yeah. Now, the reason why they relocated is because of declining attendance, and the owner at that time wanted to go to a bigger market. Now, at that time, the city of Atlanta definitely was a bigger city than Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee actually had quite a few baseball teams before. Well, we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, the owner wanted to go to a bigger city, which is very understanding. And not only that, since relocating to the city of Atlanta, the Braves actually won 4 NL pennants and 2 World Series, 1995 and 2021. They will remain in the city of Atlanta ever since 1966. And like I said, I don't believe the Braves plan on relocating again. I seriously doubt they would. But yeah. Another team that will relocate is, the Kansas City Athletics to the city of Oakland, becoming the Oakland Athletics. Yeah, this is definitely another team that relocated more than once or maybe twice. Now, the Kansas City Athletics actually played from 1955 to 1967. Now, 0 divisions, 0 pennants, and definitely 0 World Series for the Kansas City Athletics. Yeah, the reason why they moved is because of poor attendance, and the owner wanted to go to a bigger city, which, well, at that time, Oakland definitely was a bigger city than Kansas City. Well, I don't know about now, but yeah, I'm just saying Oakland definitely was a bigger city than Kansas City, which they would remain from 1966 since, well, like I said, we're going to talk about them a little later. Moving on the list, another team that definitely relocated is the Seattle Pilots to Milwaukee, becoming the Milwaukee Brewers. You know, this team actually only lasted 1 season, and that would be the 1969 season. Yeah, 1969. Yeah, so they definitely had no World Series, no divisions, and of course no pennants. The reason why they relocated is because of poor attendance, and it was just 1 season, 1 unforgettable season. And not only that, we already know that is the Milwaukee Brewers that we know of till this day. Now, the Milwaukee Brewers that we know of today, like I said, they only been to 1 World Series in 1982. They were actually in the American League, believe it or not. That is until 1998, the Brewers would move to the NL National League side. Now, they've been to quite a couple of pennants, but there are definitely one team that did not win a World Series. Eventually, the Brewers are definitely going to win a World Series. Don't know when, but yeah, they've been in Milwaukee ever since 1970. So, yeah. Moving on. Another team that definitely relocated to another city is the Washington Senators. Now, this is definitely the different Washington Senators that was from the old Washington Senators. Yeah, they actually had 2 Washington Senators. Yeah, one won a well, the Washington Senators to the city of Dallas, as they will become the Texas Rangers. Now, this Washington Senators team actually debuted in 1961, and they would relocate to Dallas in 1971, which definitely a way better situation. And not only that, the reason why they relocated is because of definitely poor attendance. And the owner was frustrating with a real bad losing record. I mean, for 11 years, they had a record of 740 wins to 1,032 losses. Yeah, that is very frustrating. And yeah, that would make me want to relocate to a different city. And yeah, the Texas Rangers are definitely way better than that Washington Senators team. Now, the Texas Rangers, ever since debuting in Dallas, well, Arlington, whatever, they made it to they won 3 AL pennants, but they definitely would win the World Series in 2023. So yeah, the Texas Rangers are definitely way better than that Washington Senators team. So yeah, another team that definitely relocated, but a lot of fans definitely miss this team. And this team is, ladies and gentlemen, the Montreal Expos to Washington, D.C., as they would become the Washington Nationals. Now, believe it or not, the Montreal Expos actually debuted in 1969. They will remain in Montreal until 2004. Now, believe it or not, this team actually won one division in 1981, but they definitely had no national pennant and, of course, no World Series. But yeah, the reason why they relocated is because of poor attendance and declining of a new stadium. Plus, they had a real losing record for 36 years. I mean, well, even though they won one division, but their record is from 2,753 wins to 2,943 losses. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And not only that, their last 2 years, they would play in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Yeah, I guess because of the stadium that they used to play in was very outdated. But I believe a lot of fans from Montreal definitely miss the Montreal Expos. Now, is there a possibility that the Montreal Expos would return? You never know. You never know, because Canada would definitely did have 2 baseball teams, which is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Montreal Expos. But yeah, a lot of fans from Montreal definitely miss the Expos. And yeah, that's a hurt piece seeing your team leave. But y'all had a real bad record, so yeah, it's just gonna leave it at that. Okay. And last but not least, the last team as of right now that we know of that relocated, well, that is going to be relocating to another city. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oakland Athletics to Las Vegas. Yeah, they plan on moving in 2028. Now, the Oakland Athletics actually played from 1968 to 2024. Now, believe it or not, the Oakland Athletics actually won 4 World Series: 1972, 1973, 1974, 3 in a row, and 1989. Now, the reason why they relocated is because of poor attendance. Well, the A's have not been the same since winning the World Series in 1989. I mean, they did go back in 1990, but they lost. But yeah, all right, let me stop. And because they went to the new stadium. Now, believe it or not, back in the day, football and baseball teams actually shared stadiums together. That is until football teams got their own stadiums and baseball teams got their own stadiums. Now, believe it or not, the Athletics actually shared the football field with the Oakland Raiders at the Oakland Coliseum. Yeah, we all know the Oakland Coliseum is very outdated, and of course they wanted a new stadium, but they got denied. So as of right now, since 2025, The Athletics, as they are called right now, are hereby playing in the city of Sacramento. So they're going to be there until 2028, until they move into their new stadium, supposedly in Las Vegas, joining the Las Vegas Raiders. So you got two teams that played in the same stadium in the city of Oakland, now going to Las Vegas. I mean, it was bound to happen anyway. It definitely was bound to happen. So, yeah. Like I said, a lot of teams relocate to different cities because of poor attendance, financial situations, lack of new stadiums, bigger markets, well, meaning bigger cities. And sometimes it's for the good, sometimes it's for the bad. But some teams win World Series. Some teams win World Series in different cities. But like I said, it happens. It happens in all sports, okay? So we're just going to leave it at that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is your episode of baseball teams that relocated from city to city to city to city. Now, before we go off with this episode, I just want to tell y'all, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that notification button. And please tell all your family and friends about the Young Brother of Soul. And make sure y'all tune in for some new episodes of the Young Brother of Soul podcast show. And everybody stay safe and have a good night. And also, no, I'm just playing. But like I said, have a good night. Stay safe, and make sure y'all tune in for more episodes of the Young Brother Soul podcast show. And like I said, please tell all your family and friends about the Young Brother Soul podcast show. And make sure y'all check a brother out. Show your love, show support, because Lord knows I love the love and support for the Young Brother Soul podcast show. Yeah. So anyway, let me stop playing. Like I said, thank you, good night, be safe, and tune in for some new episodes, which will be coming soon. Thank you.